What's good, y'all? It's your man Stephen Bardo coming at you for draft day party. I like to call it a party because everybody wants to do a show and all that, but we dress to the nines. And y'all heard me say we because I got my man Antwaun Smith on with me today. Antwaun has really been integral in what Bardo's breakdown is doing this summer. He's in the CPS Broadcasting Hall of Fame. He's been a high school coach for 9 years. Is an enthusiast of the game and also a very good broadcaster. Had a chance to do a Sky game back in the day. Antwaun Smith, thanks for joining me, my man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on, brother. I hope you're feeling good, man. You feeling better? You kind of was a little down yesterday. You okay?
Yeah, man. These allergies, man, in the Midwest. I hope y'all are not allergy sufferers like me because, man, it'll knock your wind out. But I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man.
Antwaun really does a good job assisting Bardo's breakdown in a number of various areas, and definitely wanted to get him on today to talk some NBA draft. My man's got some skills, as you'll see here shortly. Belmos Sports, Jay Hood, what's good, brother? Glad you guys could join on IG. You will hear Antwaun. You won't be able to see him, and you won't be able to see the banners, but I'll do the best I can over here. Jay Hood said, "I gotta share my draft day story." I may get to that. I'll get to that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. Antwaun, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it, brother.
You got any comments on the top of the telecast about what you've seen in your research with this draft class?
Yeah, man. I'm actually a little bit excited about Jabari Smith. I noticed that a lot of people have him going number one. And I like the versatility. He reminds me of a Kevin Durant if I'm not reaching too far there. But if the potential's right and he has the right work ethic, I can see him being comparable to a Kevin Durant. Chet Holmgren is.
Hold on. I just want overall thoughts. You're going deep. So hold on. Let's get into it because you giving up all the goods here. Number one, Orlando Magic. They're going to go with Jabari Smith out of Auburn. Go ahead and give your thoughts on Jabari, Antwaun.
Yeah, man. Like I say, I like him. The 6'9", I believe, got that long wingspan, can stretch the floor. Did very well over at Auburn. Yeah, man. I think that he has the talent to be effective at the NBA level coming out of the gates.
Yeah, he's kind of a Chris Bosh-like, ladies and gentlemen, but much better shooter from outside. He is 6'10", long, and he played in a high motor situation at Auburn. So that's a good sign for NBA scouts when they look at high motors and people that you're going to choose and invest with your number one pick. Jabari Smith, tremendous amount of upside. Number two, we're going to move through these kind of fast. Oklahoma City Thunder will go with Chet Holmgren of Gonzaga. What are your thoughts, Antwaun?
Well, you know what? I like it. I with the Kevin Durant comparison, I would think that OKC might be a little bit more attracted to Jabari. But if Chet does go to Oklahoma, he'll instantly bring that down low presence that they so desperately need. And then he's young. He can stretch the floor. I've seen some things where he can put the ball on the floor, get to the basket. A lot of folks can't stay in front of him being that size. The only thing that does scare me is that he's been dubbed as a rim protector, but at 7 feet, 195 pounds, that scares me.
No, that's a great point. And he is light in the britches, 7'1", 190. But he's ultra skilled. He's shown that he can compete against college-sized kids. He did so at Gonzaga, had a heck of a season, shot the ball a lot better than I thought, was tougher than I thought. But in high school, he had the reputation of guys trying to punk him, and he wouldn't back down. Little Kristaps Porzingis-like, can stretch the floor. Going to be interesting to see how he fits in with that attack with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's move to number three. The Houston Rockets will select Paolo Banchero from Duke. What are your thoughts on Paolo?
Banchero, yeah, man. He's one of my favorites. I mean, I'm a coach myself, so when you think about the finesse game or as opposed to the power game, I'm always going to choose the power game. And so this guy, the way he can drop step and throw it down on guys, defenders in the paint, playing the in-your-face defense, man, I like it. And it's a reason why he's a top 3 pick.
Yeah, Paolo is ultra skilled, ladies and gentlemen. You probably saw him because a lot of times Duke gets a lot of coverage, and rightfully so, because they had some ballers this year, and Banchero was the best of the bunch. 6'10", really improved his outside shooting. I was kind of surprised by that. I thought that was one of the things that maybe he lacked, but he didn't. He can put it on the deck. He can play with his back to the basket. I would choose him number 1 if I was just going on raw talent with what's in this year's draft, based on what you said, Antwaun, with his size and his ability to move. He rebounded the ball pretty well. Defensively, there are some question marks, but I think that he has the desire to be great. I think that will show up in what he's doing at the next level. I like Banchero here at number 3 with the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets, Jalen Green, Christopher, what's Christopher's last name? They got some young talent on that team. They're building. He would be a really, really nice addition. Number 4, we got the Sacramento Kings with Jaden Ivey. Antwaun, what are your thoughts on Jaden Ivey?
Jaden, man, he's a fan favorite, especially coming out of the Big Ten. 6'4", 195, sophomore coming out, projected to go 4th. I think you have him right there. Only thing is Sacramento has this 4th pick, but they also have De'Aaron Fox and DiVincenzo, Justin Holiday. So it'll be a little interesting to see if they choose talent they'll just load up on talent as opposed to fitting a need. They're going to double some positions there by taking him. But I like it, man. I'm not concerned with his work ethic. His mom definitely she's a coach, and she trained him. So as far as him reaching his full potential, I don't think he'll slack in that area at all. I think that he has the opportunity to be special, like a Oladipo, a Ja Morant, or even a Westbrook.
Yeah, I like your the comparisons there. I like him to Ja Morant as well. And when you look at Jaden, you're talking about a young man that can take over athletically. I think he and Wesley from Notre Dame are the 2 most athletic guards in this year's draft. Jaden Ivey played in some high-level pressure situations in the Big Ten. He took over games down the stretch. His motor on the defensive end has been in question, but I think that once these guys reach this level and they understand how hard you have to compete, I think that won't be an issue. With Jaden Ivey and this number 4 pick, do not be surprised to see a trade involved here. I would be surprised to see Jaden Ivey actually stay in Sacramento because of that aforementioned logjam you talked about, Antwaun. De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, I believe, is still out there as well. So they'll have a plethora of guys at that position, maybe some trade bait. So it could be a trade they're looking up. Let me give a shout out. Andrew Pelabon, what's good? Larry out. My man, Larry, the God filmmaker. What's good, brother? Knicks DM14. What's more difficult to do, get Chet to bulk up or to make a big lose weight for the grind? I think it might be harder, Jay Hood, to get Chet Holmgren to really put on the kind of weight that people would like to see, because that has to take place after he's done a little bit, kind of done growing vertically. Then you can start to grow a little bit horizontally. But I think that it might be tough for him for the next couple of years just because he's so wiry, but he is strong. Andrew Moody, what's good? Zoomer Sports, what's happening? Appreciate you. Malcolm the Hooper. Malcolm, I had an allergy situation yesterday, man. I apologize I couldn't jump on. Malcolm Townsend, my man, doing big things on his IG show there. I hope it went well. Coach Fraser was good. Josiah Banks. Paula reminds me too much of Lamar Odom. Okay, Coach. Fraser says. Josh Christopher. That's the young man I was talking about in Houston. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you being on. Fugazi, Diane. Oh, I'm not even going to try that one. Diane, I think this is your first time on. If it is, thanks for joining Bardo's Breakdown. Let's get back to the picks. We got number 5. Detroit Pistons go with Keegan Murray out of Iowa. Let me jump in here first, Antwaun. I think Keegan Murray might be the most ready NBA guy in this draft. I know that sounds a little unusual, but 6'8", 6'9", got great length, got great bounce. He's probably got the best second jump on an offensive rebound in the country. can extend the defense with his shooting, can put it on the deck, is an above-average defender. Detroit Pistons will have a good one. Give me your thoughts on Keegan Murray, Antwaun.
It's interesting that you have him going 5th with the Pistons because I actually think it may be 6 to the Pacers.
Okay.
And that's because the thing is they both have that type of they have that blue collar type of approach to the game.
I got you, Antwaun. I can still hear you.
Okay, so they got that blue collar kind of approach to the game, and I think that with him being 22 years old, that's going to help him hit the ground running. Okay. You know what I mean? Just like how you mentioned, I think that his age is what's going to help him be what you were talking about, which is NBA ready, and that's going to be something good. And then also, Iowa, they're hard nosed as well. He comes from that background, so they were going to let him get away with not playing tough, and that's exactly what a team like Detroit or the Pacers would be looking for. I would say that if I were to compare him to someone, it would be Siakam or Obi Toppin or something like that. But in my opinion, it's up to him and his work ethic if he's going to end up in that category or maybe somewhere around a Tristan Thompson.
Okay, all right. Zach Off the Glass podcast was good. B. Koto, what's happening? Let's move to number 6. Number 6, Indiana Pacers will pick Benedict Mathurin from Arizona. You want to give your thoughts first? You want me to go first?
I'll let you go.
Man, listen, Benedict Mathurin, you talk about a prototype 2 guard. He reminds me of Walter Davis, new school Walter Davis. That's old school for you youngins. Go look him up with the Phoenix Suns. That cat was the real deal. Benedict Mathurin is a physical, athletic guard. He's competitive. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. I love his intensity and his aggressiveness. This young man out of Canada, that's a big pickup for the Pacers. What are your thoughts, Antwaun?
I like it, man. I think that he has that ability to shoot the ball very well. He reminds me of players that he shoots a very high percentage, right? So that lets me know that his offensive ability, his mindset for offense is top tier, pro ready. He's long. So I like him at 6.
Okay. Now, Benedict Mathurin, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be one of the more exciting players in the NBA. Don't be surprised to see him in a dunk contest really, really soon. This young man I think he had the best dunk of the tournament. He dunked on somebody so bad that great-grandmother felt it. I'm telling you. Number 7, the Portland Trailblazers are going to go with Dyson Daniels out of the G League Ignite. This is an exciting young man, ladies and gentlemen. Comes from Australia. He's a young man that has guard skills, but he shot up. He started out, I believe, at 6'2", when he was leaving Australia to come to the United States to join the G League. He has shot up to 6'8". He's still got those guard skills, and he's a handsome young man. I'm telling you, he's going to be a poster child for these brands, and he speaks, he's got that Australian accent, so he's a little bit unique. But on the court, it's going to be interesting to see. He did well at the G League Ignite, and that has been a fantastic program for some of these players. What are your thoughts, Antwaun?
I like it, man. I think I saw a couple highlights. I didn't get to pay attention to him much this season, but that's why you come to Bardo's Breakdown, man, because you're going to always teach me something that I didn't know before. So
okay.
I like him, though.
All right. At number 8, New Orleans Pelicans, Usman Jane, another young man from Australia. He is 6'9", can play the point guard position. They don't have a lot of film on him yet. So he played in the Australian Basketball League, the National Basketball League in Australia, which has over the years had a really good reputation for people inside the basketball world, not necessarily outside, but you've seen some prospects, RJ Hampton, or Ben Simmons is from Australia. But there's an Australia connection of grassroots basketball and at their professional level that really provides a nice breeding ground for players in the NBA. You got any thoughts on Usman Jane?
Actually, I do not. This is this is actually my first time actually hearing his name, so I'm going to be surprised to see what actually transpires, and I'm sure it's going to be very exciting.
Film Belize, good to see you. Wait for that invite on that basketball tournament, bro. I can't wait to get down to Belize. All right. I'm putting you on the spot now. You know I love you. San Antonio Spurs at number 9 will pick Shayden Sharp out of Kentucky. What are your thoughts on Shayden?
Shayden, I love the talent. I love the and this is the young man who barely played college ball. He's been doing a lot of AAU stuff. People are kind of worried about the reps that he has or have not had as a NCAA player, but the talent's there. The will to work is there. Very explosive. I think I heard some things about he'll be a good fit for like a New York type of team who's looking for someone to put the ball in the basket that doesn't need to do much. So he can do some one-on-one stuff and entertain the crowd. We'll see what happens if he goes to New York.
No, I like Shayden Sharp, ladies and gentlemen. You talk about one of the best creators off the bounce in this draft. He's got a nice body. He's got a lively fit to his game. He's a young man that really he's got the kind of similar bounce as Jalen Green, the young up-and-coming rising star for the Houston Rockets. He doesn't quite have, the Jalen Green ups, but he ain't far from it. He will dunk on your head. He's physical. I don't quite know what happened at Kentucky why he wasn't able to play. I know there might have been some injury situations, or Cal don't play it. If you ain't playing the way Cal plays, you're not going to get in. So maybe I'm not exactly sure what went down, but he's going to have some opportunities here at the next level. Brian K. Hurd, good to see you. Let's go to number 10. Big Ten fans will be familiar with this pick. The Washington Wizards pick Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. Antwaun, what are your thoughts?
I like Johnny Davis, man. I actually think he may or may not be a better fit with the Spurs. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But I like the way that he actually worked his way into the basketball conversation of things, right? Because just about a year ago, he wasn't on anyone's radar. He just blew everyone out of the water this past season, and now he's definitely in a lottery pick situation. I love the fact that he doesn't look like he's 6'6", but when he starts to block shots down there, he definitely shows his wingspan. I say that he may be light skinned, but he has that blue collar kind of work ethic, and he can definitely get the job done, man. I like him, and I think he's in a league of his own as far as NBA comparisons. I don't have anyone he really I can compare to, but if he does fall to number 12, which would be the OKC pick, I think he'll do good if OKC grabs Jabari in that situation, and those guys will work good together for them out of the jump.
Yeah, Johnny Davis is an extremely competitive guard. I'd have to say probably the most competitive guard in this draft. Very strong, wiry. His shot has been inconsistent, but that will get better because he's a hard worker. The young man's dad played at the professional level. I played against his father, Mark, who was tough as nails, could shoot from downtown. Mark could shoot better than Johnny, but Johnny does everything else better, more athletic, can put it on the deck. He's really a bulldog, as Antwaun mentioned, especially on the defensive end. Loves a defensive challenge. If Johnny Davis goes to the Washington Wizards, don't be surprised to see Bradley Beal end up elsewhere. We keep hearing about maybe the Celtics, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks, but don't be surprised to see Bradley Beal on the move. So EBA Ghana, good to see you on here, man. Beat Mills, Chi-Town 13, B Houston 34 was good. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Bardo's breakdown. We having a NBA draft party. Me and Antwaun on here partying, y'all, because all these guys are getting ready to change their lives. So this is it could be a show, but it's a party because these dudes are about to change their lives and hopefully their families' lives. At number 11, the New York Knicks will select AJ Griffin from Duke. What are your thoughts, Antwaun?
I think it's going to be a good choice, man. I mean, it was anybody that comes under Mike Krzyzewski, man, is going to be something to deal with. You know what I mean? So I like AJ Griffin. I like what he brings to the game, man, and he's worthy of that lottery pick.
AJ Griffin can shoot from the parking lot, ladies and gentlemen. You have to pick him up off the bus because if he gets loose, it's going up and it's going down. Physical size, good job at finding his role on an uber talented squad at Duke. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr., Banchero, Keats is probably not going to be a first-round pick, but he's an NBA player. I mean, that Mark Williams is going to go in the first round from that Duke team. But I thought A.J. Griffin did a fabulous job of finding his role as a defender and long-range shooter for the Duke Blue Devils this year. He will be an immediate hit if he ends up with the New York Knicks. With the number 12 pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Jalen Duren of Memphis. Antwaun, what are your thoughts on Jalen Duren?
Duren. Now, this is the guy with the 7-foot wingspan, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You know what, man? I like his game. I feel like he'll bring what Robert Williams has brought to Boston. You know, people were saying, well, you know, he may just be a hybrid type of player and, you know, he may have a ceiling and things like that. But I feel like his defensive ability of being able to rim protect like that and then being a chase down artist at times, I like that. I like his draft stock. And I think that his defensive ability is what's going to drive him as a choice in this draft.
Okay. Well, and you know, I'm really high on this young man. He's a year younger than Chet Holmgren in this draft. He's physically ready. He was ready in high school to play at the NBA level. He is very strong, runs the floor well. I don't think that he got to showcase much of his offensive skills at Memphis because they were so perimeter oriented, but he's a great rim runner, can finish at the rim, obviously can block shots and rebound. I think his offensive game will expand. Don't be surprised to see him be an DeAndre Ayton type. Not as good, not as gifted offensively as DeAndre Ayton, because Ayton can make plays on the move, on the ball screen action, and make passes on the move. That will have to develop, but I think Jalen Duren has that potential to be that sort of impact player there. Destined to be, thanks for joining. Brian K. Hurd said Tibbs don't like playing rookies. Tibbs better like playing players that will win games. I know Tibbs doesn't like playing rookies, but that might be why he's bouncing around a little bit. If you got a player that needs time to get in and play, you got to let him go through the fire a little bit. And A.J. Griffin, with a team in New York that really struggled to score the basketball and that's looking to move Julius Randle, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for the Knicks, whoever they bring in, whether it's A.J. Griffin as a rookie or they try to make a trade or sign a veteran to a mid-level exception. It'll be interesting to see. Let's keep it moving. You're listening to Bardo's Breakdown. I'm your host, Stephen Bardo, my man on the ones and twos. With me today, Antwaun Smith, doing a great job. He's working with me at Bardo's Breakdown, trying to help expand the brand. He has been a broadcaster. He's broadcasted a Chicago Sky game. He's been a basketball coach for 9 years. He's in the CPS Broadcasting Hall of Fame. So my man is more than legit in holding down the fort here at Bardo's Breakdown. Let's go to number 13, the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this is an interesting pick. Jeremy Sohan from Baylor. You have any thoughts on him, Antwaun?
Not too much, but I do understand that Baylor was very good this year. And they also were very, very good during those COVID years when things were going on and everyone had to, you know, we were going through the COVID situation and the pandemic, but they were really good. And he was definitely an integral piece to what they were trying to do as a collective unit. Yeah,
Jeremy Sohan is probably he'll be one of the 2 to 3 best defenders in this draft. He's long, man, at like 6'9", I believe. But he's a type of guy that's got a crazy high motor, 6'9", 230. And he's got a little bit of OG Anunoby in him in terms of kind of a guy that can defend all 5 positions with that 6'9" frame, but he's athletic and he kind of gets his motor up on the defensive end. He plays hard whether he's scoring or not. That's a very attractive characteristic of players these days, especially for a Charlotte Hornets team that's young, Antwaun, that likes to push the ball offensively, but they lack some defensive presence. He, along with Miles Bridges, would give a nice complementing duo on the perimeter defensively, because LaMelo Ball is talented, but he ain't guarding his shadow. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. You know, we try to keep it real on here. That is 2149. What's good? The number 14 pick the Cleveland Cavaliers will select Ochai Agbaji from Kansas.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Agbaji, Antwaun?
National champion. The resume speaks for itself. You know what I mean? To be able to, come back from being down, I think as many as 20 points in that first half against North Carolina, and let them know, like, hey, we're the number one team. You guys are like number 8 or something like that. They showed up and they showed out and they brought home the gold.
Yeah, I tell you what, Agbaji is really special, ladies and gentlemen. I know he's older, and NBA teams sometimes don't like to pick a 4-year guy. This guy is ready. You guys remember Mitch Richmond, big physical guard, used to beat you up with the basketball. Agbaji is similar. He's not necessarily yet, because the college game didn't let him seek out bodies when he's going to the rim, but at the NBA level, it's made for that. So he's a guy that loves contact, can finish through physicality on the defensive end. I think he's above average defender because of his athleticism. And at 6'5", 220, ladies and gentlemen, he's as NBA ready at the 2-guard spot as anybody that you're going to see in this particular draft. Number 15, the Charlotte Hornets. I don't think this guy's going to last long. I wouldn't mind seeing the Chicago Bulls get a shot at this young man, Mark Williams, the 7-footer from Duke. Antwaun, what are your thoughts on Mark Williams?
Like you said, I don't think that he's going to last long either in the draft. It all depends on what Charlotte wants to do. I think that we may have to line up a little different. I think Charlotte had a back-to-back pick, so they may go with those two guys back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. But Mark Williams, no issues here. Final 4 guy, big guy, big, strong around the basket. If we can get him at the Bulls, I'm a Chicago guy. I would love to see him in that uniform.
Well, I tell you what, 7'2" wingspan, did a great job of rim protection at Duke this season. He's a guy that can catch on the move. He obviously can catch rim runners, but he's a guy that can make passes out of the ball screen action. When the ball handler's double teamed and they kick it to him, he can catch, pivot, and make a play. He can make a pass as well. I think his offense will elevate a little bit. I don't know that he'll get to a Chris Bosh level. He's not. I don't think he's as athletic as a Jared Allen, but I think that he is in that kind of flavor, so to speak, a Jared Allen kind of guy that can make plays on the move. Antwaun, did you look like you had something else you wanted to say?
Yeah, no, I agree. I believe that with that post presence, to be able to pass out with the way that the NBA game is right now, with all of the perimeter stuff going on, if you can play inside out and figure out a way to keep up with, the Golden State's type of play style, I think that'll be good for a big guy coming in trying to make a name for himself, because the NBA is really guard heavy right now. So if you can, sink some defense in and dish out the guys, you'll be okay.
All right. Number 16, the Atlanta Hawks go with Jalen Williams from Santa Clara. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be the surprise of the draft, along with possibly 2 players from the G League Ignite team. Jalen Williams is 6'6", 6'10" wingspan, was a 19-point per game scorer in the West Coast Conference, which is a quality Division I conference. Nice body, kind of silky smooth with the basketball, doesn't have to force things. Like I said, he, along with Malachi Branham, are going to be guys that are going to be a little bit surprising to players. What are your thoughts on him, Antwaun?
Again, this is one of those areas where you're going to have to put me up on game, man. You come to Bardo's breakdown to get all that information from you, man. You're the expert.
No, I got you. He's a guy that's kind of slipped in there a little bit. And, I wanted to go against the grain on some of my picks. And so he might be a guy that is definitely going to be a first-round pick, but I might have him a little bit higher than some other people. Thaddeus, 2149. What do you think about Ken Lofton Jr. out of Louisiana Tech? I definitely think he's going to get a look, Thaddeus. I don't see him being a first-round pick necessarily, but I like his athleticism and his ability to get to the rim. Okay, number 17, the Houston Rockets picked Tari Easton out of LSU. You got any thoughts on Tari Easton?
Yeah, I saw a lot of things. I do. I saw a lot of things about him going possibly to the Bulls. I got excited about that. I think he's, another big guy that can spread the floor. He's got a nice jumper, and he can put the ball on the floor and mix it up also in the post. So I think that if the Houston Rockets do grab him there, anyone behind him will be. If they don't grab him, anyone behind him will be licking their chops.
Tari Easton needs to pay Herb Jones from Alabama big money right now, because Herb Jones's success defensively at the NBA level has opened the door for the likes of Tari Easton, a guy that's defensive oriented, long, athletic, about 6'8", 6'9", nice active body, loves getting after it defensively. These SEC wing players are really making a name for themselves at the NBA level based on their length, athleticism, and the competitiveness of that conference. All right, you Chi-Town fans, what y'all been waiting for. All right, the number 18 pick, the Chicago Bulls select Malachi Branham out of Ohio State. Antwaun, let me hear what you got. Let me hear your thoughts.
The Ohio State University. You got the
good point.
6'6" forward, 6'10" wingspan. Okay, 53% from the field. All right. Also, 40% from the 3-point. Those long arms really give him the advantage to get the shot up and over defenders. I feel like being a freshman, he's composed, poised, and that's what you need. Looking at the numbers, this is what stuck out to me with him. With those high field goal percentages like that, but then only having about 13 or 14 points a game, that just lets you know that each shot that he had to take took on very much importance, and he got the job done. So I can see him being, a guy like how Steve Kerr was like a role player, but he does have potential to be a star as well. But as far as like how Steve Kerr was a role player, but then also has the highest 3-point percentage in NBA history, it also came off of shots that were very important. So as a coach, you want your best player taking as many shots as possible if they're that efficient, no matter the field goal percentage. But with this guy, you're going to get both.
Well, Malachi Branham, ladies and gentlemen, is an old school two guard. As Antwaun talked about his wingspan being 6'10", he's 6'6". Anytime you can go on a Power 5 conference road game and you drop 35 points or more on the road, now it was at Nebraska, but he went heads up with another possible first-round pick in Trey McGowan's and gave them the business, gave them 37 points on the road. So this young man has the ability to explode. I believe he had 26 or 28 at Illinois. When you have a freshman that can go on the road in the Big Ten and show up and show out like he did, this young man has high upside. Defensively, he's a young, so he's going to have some question marks there, going to have to learn the game, but he's going to get more physical. As Antwaun talked about, high efficiency shooter. He had to be because his teammate E.J. Liddell at the Ohio State University was also rumored to be in this range and was a 19-point scorer per night. So Malachi had to pick and choose his spots. But when they went to him, he came up big. So look for him to have tremendous upside at the NBA level. Number 19, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Walker Kessler out of Auburn. What are your thoughts on Walker Kessler, Antwaun?
Oh my goodness, man. This kid is going to be, I think he's going to be pretty good, man. Lottery, well, we're out of the lottery now, but the Minnesota Timberwolves will get a very good, agile player with Walker Kessler.
Well, I tell you what, Walker Kessler, the defensive player of the year in college basketball, averaged almost 5 block shots a game. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say that again. Walker Kessler almost averaged 5 block shots per game. He played at Auburn. He teamed up with the number 1 pick, Jabari Smith. This guy has a motor. He's an elite rim protector. He can make plays out of the pick and roll situation. He can finish around the rim. I don't understand. I'm not quite sure why Walker Kessler fell in the eyes of NBA scouts. I don't believe he worked out in the Chicago pre-draft camp. But this young man, with his ability to change the game defensively, is a great pickup for the Minnesota Timberwolves as they're developing a culture of toughness. And Karl Anthony Towns, he needs some reinforcements up front. He and Vanderbilt, if they add Walker Kessler, watch out for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Moving to pick number 20, the San Antonio Spurs will go with Blake Wesley out of Notre Dame. Antwaun, what are your thoughts on Blake Wesley?
Blake Wesley, again, the Notre Dame kid. You're gonna have to give me that Bardo's breakdown.
Oh, I'll give you that. No, Blake Wesley, I believe he or Jaden Ivey were the top athletic guard in this year's draft. So
That's
he's
right.
a freak of an athlete, jet quick. I had the benefit of covering Notre Dame and Rutgers in the NCAA First Four when the lights were bright. In the first half, he was a little shook, so he wasn't composed. The second half, that young man was composed. He got to the rim. He fought through contact. He showed great toughness, and he improved throughout the year through the ACC play. So this is a high-level pick with some serious upside, and you know what Popovich can do with young players. You put him in a backcourt with DeJounte Murray, that star guard there. San Antonio Spurs will have a nice future in the backcourt with Blake Wesley. Elite interviews. Do you guys already talk about Jalen Williams from Santa Clara? Yes, we did. He could be the surprise of the NBA draft. 6'6", average 19 a game at Santa Clara with a 6'10" wingspan, can create his own shot, kind of a smooth scorer, does not mind contact. So yeah, we mentioned him a little bit. Paul McKeskey, big fella. What's up, coach? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Join us on Bardo's Breakdown. It is lit, y'all. This is the most we've had, I believe, in a show on Bardo's Breakdown because Antwaun Smith is joining me. That's why we got all the love here, because they want to see my man rock the mic as he's doing so well. As we get to the 21st pick in this year's NBA draft will be the Denver Nuggets. They will select Dallin Terry from Arizona. What are your thoughts on Dallin Terry, Antwaun?
Well, as I mentioned before, man, Arizona was tough this year. He was definitely leading the way. I think that Denver will do good with a player like that coming into that atmosphere, but he's got to be ready to hit the ground running because they're trying to make a playoff push. They're tired of going out in the second round, first round type of stuff. And we can come in focused, working hard. I think that that'll be a good pick for the Nuggets.
No, I think Dallin Terry, ladies and gentlemen, he's one of my surprise picks. This young man could fight for Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. He's that talented. He's a 6'8" point guard. He loves to defend. Active body, wiry, strong. He's got some old school mental warfare going on. He's really talented, can get downhill, loves getting in the paint. At 6'8", he's going to be the biggest point guard generally that he goes against. He can play the 2 and the 3 as well. He comes out of, as you said, a very competitive Arizona squad that many people thought were going to cut down the nets like me. So he's a guy that's played in high-pressure situations. He'll be an excellent pickup for that ultra competitive and ultra skilled Denver Nuggets ball club. At the 22nd pick, the Memphis Grizzlies select Ty Washington from Kentucky. What are your thoughts on Ty, Antwaun?
Ty Washington from Kentucky. I think, coming into this situation, if the Memphis Grizzlies does pick him, he's going to have to figure out how to play in Ja Morant's shadow. You know what I mean? So as long as the mental aspect of the transition from the NCAA game to the NBA game, as long as he knows how to be a great teammate and work hard and push guys and, do what you have to do on the bench and in the locker room and stuff like that, I think that this will be good for Ty.
Yeah, I'm not so much concerned about Ty in the locker room and whatnot. He's had enough exposure around John Calipari. That's one of the really good things that Calipari does is really try to give these guys as much exposure to what the NBA game is going to look like off the court than he does on. So I think he'll be fine in that regard. Big, athletic, can take some physicality as he's getting to the paint, can play off the ball as well. I think he'll fit in. I think the Memphis Grizzlies have done a fantastic job. Jones, the young man from Melton, DeAnthony Melton, and there's another guard that is escaping me right now that have played alongside the sharpshooter from TCU. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. Help me out, Bardo's Breakdown. Y'all so good on that. Help me out.
We going deep.
It'll come to me in a minute. But though they do a really good job of incorporating their games around John Morant. If they can get Ty to do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, watch out, because that Memphis backcourt has some size and versatility with this young man coming into the fold. In the 23rd pick, Desmond Bane. Thank you, Elite Interviews. Y'all, you're on it. Desmond Bane, thank you. The 23rd pick, the Philadelphia 76ers are going to select Wendell Davis Jr. out of Duke. What are your thoughts, Antwaun?
If I'm going into a situation where James Harden is going to be my teammate, man, I'm going to have some thick skin and be a real good team player. I know that's a little bit off the topic, but great player, man. I think Wendell's going to do good on the next level, man. Coming from a great coaching background in Duke, he's battle tested. They had a really emotional season this year with Coach having to retire and everything. So it's time to take that game to the next level. We'll see what he can do with the Sixers if they pick him.
All right. So I like Wendell Davis Jr. at this position, a very physical small forward. I believe he's 6'8". Like I said, he's physical, but the thing is, all these guys at Duke that will be in this first round, I thought they did a fantastic job of blending their games to what was available. So you're looking at a guy that is 6'5", 215, but they had him playing the small forward position. So with the Sixers, he can go between that 2 and 3 position. You're looking at a guy that in I meant Wendell Moore. I don't know why I said Wendell Davis. Let me correct that. Wendell Moore. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
This is true. It's Wendell Moore Jr. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was my first faux pas. Hopefully, it was the last. But yes, this big fella, Wendell Moore Jr., I think will have some Evan Turner-like in him. You Chi-Town people remember Evan Turner, what he was able to do, the versatility from that position. So Wendell Morris Jr. Should be a nice fit because, as Antwaun mentioned, my man Harden is 33. And I don't know that we're going to see the Harden from 5 years moving forward. We may have seen his best basketball. This is a nice insurance policy on the back end for that. Number 24, the Milwaukee Bucks select E.J. Liddell of Ohio State. Antwaun, drop some science about E.J. Liddell.
Yeah, man, E.J. Liddell, 6'7", 243 forward. He's a chase down artist, right? He doesn't not much gets past him on the fast break side of things. I like him. He's got that Draymond build. We'll see how far he can go. I think a good comparison would be like a Grant Williams from Boston this year, but a little bit more athletic. So being that spark off the bench, you know what I mean? I feel like I don't think he's a too cool for school kind of guy, but you know what I mean? Like I try to tell my players, don't play lackadaisic, right? Come out with fire and energy. And I think at the energy that he will bring from the Ohio State University, that's going to drive his gameplay as an NBA player. So, and a little bit about him, I figured out he's an Illinois guy, right? He went to Belleville, got 2 IHSA state championships. So proven winner, big, tough Big Ten. Yep. I think it's going to be good, man. 19 points a game. You may shed about, may have to share that in half with the 19 and 7 that he averaged this season. But other than that, man, anyone who grabs this guy is they're going to get a steal. And that's what I like about this draft too, man. You're going to see a lot of guys develop, and they're going to be like, and other team GMs and stuff are going to be like, you know what? We had our chances, but there are going to be some steals in this draft, man.
Well, E.J. Liddell, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be one of the better rookies in the NBA. He's ready to go right now. Physically, he's ready. Played in the Big Ten for years. Antwaun references numbers, and at 6'7", he's about 235. I mean, he ain't small, ladies and gentlemen. 230, 6'7", 240. And so people try to compare him to P.J. Tucker, but I like the comparison more that you gave, Antwaun, with Grant Williams, kind of an undersized guy that can play a small ball 5. He's strong enough to hold himself down against centers in switch positions. He can also do a pretty good job. He's going to have to show this a lot more, that he can contain guard penetration in ball screen situations when he switches off on a quicker guard. But if once he can show that, this guy has a tremendous upside because his arms, I can't remember his reach at 6'7", but I believe it's 6'11", almost 7 feet. He's got some of the longest arms in the draft, so he can really shoot over the top of bigger defenders. And he's an orthodox player. I think he's going to do quite well with the Milwaukee Bucks because they're in a championship window. They need guys that they can plug in right now. EJ Liddell can definitely help the Milwaukee Bucks. The 25th pick of this year's NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Kennedy Chandler from Tennessee. Do you know anything about Kennedy? If so, what are your thoughts on him, Antwaun?
You're gonna have to give me a little bit of Bardo's breakdown on him, but I do know that San Antonio has always been one of those teams who they're very dangerous come playoff time. So I think that with the leadership of Coach Popovich, he'll be able to hit the ground running as long as he's ready to work.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kennedy Chandler of Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen, he was one of the better point guards down the stretch in college basketball this year. Quick as a hiccup, can get downhill as well as any of them. His mid-range game really improved as the season went along, so his shooting numbers were better than expected. His size is going to be an issue. Only 6 foot tall, not real big in terms of weight, 170 pounds, kind of a Tyrese Maxey type, but doesn't have the size that Tyrese Maxey has, but has the shake and the wiggle to get free and to be a change of pace guard that can really be good off the bench behind DeJounte Murray and such at San Antonio. Joey Magic, 11, what's good? Jr. Norton, 1. DJ Kirk, 214, what's happening? Okay. Yeah, Joey's asking me questions, getting me off track here. Number 26 pick with the Houston Rockets, Marjan Beauchamp, I think is how you pronounce his name. Marjan Beauchamp. Great story, ladies and gentlemen. Had to go to JUCO, then goes to the G League Ignite and blows up. It's about 6'8", 6'9". He's got sort of a, I won't say 6'8", he's 6'7", but he's got some Scottie Pippen-ish in him. Raw Scottie Pippen in terms of length, athleticism, loves to defend, get after the basketball, and he just continues to get better and better. That G League elite, I'm telling you guys, if these guys go in this draft, it looks like we've got 3 or 4 that could go first round. I'm sure there'll be more in the second round. This G League Ignite initiative by the NBA has been a winner.
I think so too, man. I like the fact that the guys can they have the option to do prep school, and then if they can get the attention of the G League, or maybe how does it go? They sign an agent or something like that to get them a look and something. But the G League is definitely a good place to get yourself prepared for the NBA. And the 2 guys that are looked at as going in, which is Marjan here, and one of the guys we were talking about earlier. They definitely benefited from that style of play because those guys are NBA guys. So they're going to know what to expect and be able to hit the ground running.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Bardo's Breakdown. I'm your host, Stephen Bardo. I've got my main man, Antwaun Smith, on with me. So we holding down the 1s and 2s for this NBA draft party. Y'all, this is a party. Oh, now, yeah. We're dressed to the nines, but we still like to party because, look, these guys' lives are about to change. They're about to get paid, y'all, doing what they love to do. So I like to call it a party. Kenny McReynolds, what's happening? Good to see you over here. Let's go with the 27th pick in this year's draft, held by the Miami Heat. Y'all gonna love this young fella, Jaden Hardy from the G League Ignite. Antwaun, do you know much about Jaden?
I need that Bardo's breakdown, man.
Woo! Listen, y'all, I'm telling you, he's going to be the most exciting rookie this season. You heard it here first. 6'4", about 185 pounds. But, boy, he's got some wiggle. He's got handle. He's got heart. He's got range. He's got Jordan Poole range. I'm going to say it again. He's got Jordan Poole range off the bounce. lively body, gets in the paint, can create for others as well. Jaden Hardy, to me, I'm going to be watching the Miami Heat very closely. He's going to a veteran ball club, so they don't need a lot out of him to start. Going to one of the better player development franchises in the NBA. You know he's going to love South Beach. You know he's going to love the Heat. He might be able to afford one of them whips down there that you got to rock down there in Miami. So when you're getting that nice little, nice little tan when you're outside, Jaden Hardy's going to be a fan favorite, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first if you haven't seen him play. Let's go to the Golden State Warriors with the number 28th pick. I was kind of torn on this one, Antwaun. I went with Peyton Wilson out of UCLA. Do you know much about this young man?
Not too much, but that UCLA program, man, they produce some valuable players, man.
Yeah, you're talking about a 6'8" guy who's kind of like a Cody Martin, guy that can go get his own shot off the bounce. Coming out of the UCLA program, you got to defend. If you don't defend, you can't even sign there. They play that hard of defense. So from a defensive standpoint, even though he's light in the britches at 6'8", 200, he's willing. And the defense's desire. And for the Golden State Warriors, the quickest way to get on the floor with that uber talented squad, the defending NBA champions, if you can defend, you can get on the floor. And that's what Peyton Wilson will provide for the Golden State Warriors. At 29, the Memphis Grizzlies select Christian Brown. It's spelled Braun. It's pronounced Brown from Kansas. What are your thoughts on Christian Brown, Antwaun?
You know what, man? This Kansas team doesn't surprise me at all, man. They keep producing NBA caliber players. I like the fact, again, national champion. He's battle tested. He's been there, and with the leadership of the coach and just that Kansas program, man. They produce some quality guys.
Well, Christian Brown can shoot the basketball. He's 6'6". He's physical, can defend, and he'll dunk on your head, ladies and gentlemen. He's got hops. Look for not quite as smooth a Kevin Huerter type. Kevin Huerter is a much better ball handler. I think he's a better passer, and he's got a little bit more size. But Braun is a little bit better athlete, a little bit more physical, and I believe he can. They're probably a wash in terms of spot-up shooting. But Brown can run the floor. He can catch alley-oops. He loves to defend. Big physical body. I like this pick for the Memphis Grizzlies. If this happens in the Grizzlies, we had them selecting a guard earlier. I believe it was Ty Washington. If this happens, you're going to see the Grizzlies maybe package something for a veteran because the Grizzlies are in that championship window right now. And you don't want to say, okay, we've got Jaren Jackson Jr. in the fold, who's young. We've got John Morant in the fold, who's young. We've got Desmond Bane. We've got all these guys who are young. You don't want to wait on youth too long. You want to inject something really quickly. And I believe if Brown comes and they get this logjam at the guard position, watch for the Memphis Grizzlies to package some guards and get a veteran in there that can get their shot off the bounce to alleviate some of that offensive pressure down the stretch that John Morant finds on his shoulders. Boy, we got through this pretty quickly. The number 30 pick in the NBA draft, the last pick in the first round, the Denver Nuggets will select Jake LaRavia from Wake Forest. You got any thoughts on him, Antwaun?
I was hoping that we can get some more Big Ten guys in there. But no, man, I think he'll do fine. I mean, Wake Forest is a great program. That's Chris Paul and Tim Duncan resume. So I think that any guy that they produce out of Wake Forest, man, will be good. And like I said, Denver is in that playoff hunt also. They're always a dangerous team when it's playoff time. And I'm sure they're looking at to add more pieces so that they can surprise some guys.
Yeah, I think Jake LaRavia, I said LaRavia, Jake LaRavia is a 6'8", 6'9" guy, but he wowed NBA scouts with his ability to stretch the floor. He played in the ultra competitive ACC. He's a guy that doesn't shy away from contact, so he can go inside out. And again, you're talking about the Nuggets who are ultra skilled offensive team. He kind of fits that mold of a guy that can play multiple positions, can stretch the floor, and can do some creative things with the basketball. Let's go over here to some of the comments here. Tarun Reddy, what's good, Tarun? Good to see you. Will John Collins still be on the Hawks after tonight? That's a good question, Tarun. I've heard John Collins in some trade talk, and he's been often injured with the Atlanta Hawks. I know that they're trying to make some wholesale changes to their roster. I'm not sure. You got any thoughts on that, Antwaun?
You know what? I love John Collins as a player, rim protector, and how he can attack the basket. I don't know if the Hawks may want to move a piece like that, especially if it's not where they can get a lot more for what he's worth. I don't feel like he's reached his full potential. He's one of those guys who he's been surprising us year after year. I think he could be up for like sixth man of the year or something like that. So I like him as someone that the Hawks don't want to part ways with.
Okay. Let's see. Donald Willis, what's good, Donald? Go Mr. Terry. I heard that. Terry's, ladies and gentlemen, is my high school mascot, Carbondale, Illinois. So that's somebody from back in the day. Somebody is blowing me up on Facebook. I wish y'all would stop doing this. I mean, we got a ton of comments, but it's for the same kid, and I don't know who he is. So I'm not giving him any love. Sorry, y'all. Joe Stovall, tribe member. If you want to be on the inside group of Bardo's Breakdown, join the tribe. Text me at 312-847-2739. Once again, if you want to be on the inner group that is the Bardo's Breakdown, there's a scroll right there. The number is 312-847-2739. Let's get back to it. And where were we? We were at the 30th pick. So in our NBA draft party, let me go back and get some of the comments from everyone that we didn't see. All right. How will Chet maintain the physicality of the NBA with such a small frame? Chet Holmgren, there's been question about this young man's frame since he was in high school, and he was one of the top players in high school. He got to college. He played 1 year at Gonzaga. Gonzaga had a deep run in the tournament. They play one of the best schedules in all of college basketball. Chet Holmgren does not shy away from physicality or contact. Minnesota native, is not soft because he's been through those Minnesota winters. If y'all know what I'm talking about. So I don't think that he'll be dominant right away because he doesn't have the physicality yet. But I think in time, he's a hard worker. He will develop some size and strength, and he will be very effective because, once again, he's got Kristaps Porzingis' skill set, and I think he's much tougher. So I think that he's going to do quite well. You got any thoughts on that, Antwaun?
Yeah, man. It seems like everyone has that same concern that I have about Chet. But I think that today I heard a comparison to Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if you can remember, Giannis came in very frail and really thin and really worked himself into a physical force. So, with if he can have that same kind of work ethic, I can see the potential being there. The skills are definitely there. It's just that 195, man. It's like, dude, I can push 205 20 times in the gym. You know what I mean? And I'm not a pro athlete. You know what I mean? And I think, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because, I think it was Durant who couldn't bench press 185 or something like that coming in. He put himself in that. But Durant was able to keep that small frame, but still make defenders pay. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what Chet can do with his size and his skill set, man. If he's going to add some weight, he maybe give me a call, man. We can hit LA Fitness and I can get him buffed up.
You better give him a 6-pack of beer a day with all his meals because that joker needs some calories. But I think he's going to be fine. I don't think he's ever going to be onto the Kumpo size because I don't think he has those Nigerian genes to begin with. So he's probably not going to fill out the way that most people would want him to fill out. However, I think he'll be strong enough. Think of a Kiki Vandeweghe type, not quite as athletic, way taller, a lot more skilled. But Kiki Vandeweghe was a bad boy. Yeah, a little bit like that. Where does Julius Randle end up after tonight? Joe Stovall asked. I think somewhere else other than the New York Knicks. I was so disappointed in Julius Randle. He had that coming out party the year when he was a free agent. And, Antwaun, I don't know if you remember, but he was dominant. And then last year when he got the money, he was terrible. Inconsistent. It looked like he stopped working on his game. His jumper left him. Where on the flip side, R.J. Barrett is a beast. I didn't think this young man would be able to develop a jump shot, let alone put the numbers up that he did this year. And he still can barely wipe his behind going right, but most of the NBA still can't stop him going left. So I love R.J. Barrett, but Julius Randle, I do believe he will be involved in some sort of trade tonight. You hearing anything about that, Antwaun?
I've heard something. I don't know which specific teams, but I do know that New York has had enough of that step back left-handed jump shot from Julius Randle. But I think if he does stay and doesn't get involved in some type of trade ordeal, we'll see him park himself on the bench until he can add something to his game that Tibbs could actually use.
It says Ardell Blanchard, thanks for joining, Ardell, says the Pistons will get Ben Mathurin. Hey, look, I love Ben Mathurin. I'm telling you, I love the dude. I love his heart, his desire, his athleticism, his competitiveness. And if the Pistons get him, they got a good one. I think I had Keegan Murray. Yeah, I had Keegan Murray going to the Pistons and the Pacers going to the Mathurin going to the Pacers. Antwaun, I think you had the same thing, correct? Yeah,
I swapped with you. I had Keegan going to Indiana.
Yeah. Okay. So you and Ardell on the same similar page on that. So thank you, Ardell, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. I saw a couple other. Joe Stovall says Johnny Juzang, Ron Harper Jr., and Travion Williams are seasoned players coming into the league. Do they go late second or go as free agents? I think Travion Williams, actually from Purdue, ladies and gentlemen, has a chance to sneak into the back end of the first round. He really wowed scouts with some of his workouts and his numbers, his ability to pass the basketball. He played very well in the draft combine. It could be a stretch at the back end of the first round, but he could definitely be high second round. Ron Harper Jr., I really haven't heard a lot of people talking about him, Joe. He might be better suited to be going as a free agent, to go not get drafted to a team that would just stockpile him, but actually go to a team that has a specific need for a big physical guard that can stretch the floor like Ron Harper Jr. does. And Johnny Juzang, very similar in terms of being able to space the floor. Pretty good defender on the perimeter. Doesn't put it on the deck very well. Doesn't create necessarily his own shot, but I think he could be a second-round pick as well. Any thoughts on those guys there, Antwaun?
Yeah, man, I agree with Joe. I mean, well, I'm thinking that they'll get picked up late. You know what I mean? I think it's one of those situations where if they didn't turn any heads at the combine, they could fall even further. I don't think it's fair to say, not get drafted at all, especially with Ron Harper Jr. coming from that basketball background, that home, and also Scottie Pippen Jr. So I think we'll see some household names be picked up just because of the basketball background and how well they performed at the combine.
Okay. Hope that answers your question there. Let's see. Man. If you could see this, if you could see these comments, Antwaun,
they're going off.
Oh man, I mean, I you know what? It's a little annoying for me, but they're trying to get their guy on, but they're not doing it in the proper way because they just filling up. It looks like spam on here. But I don't see any more comments. Let me check my peeps over here. All things WNBA, what's happening? Big Mike 610, what's good? DJ Kirk 214 said, let's go Knicks. Brooklyn's Simone, what's happening? I think Kofi Cockburn might get drafted in the second round. It'd be fun to see Kofi get drafted just because it's an honor to be drafted in the NBA draft, right? Even if you get drafted to a team that doesn't necessarily need your specific needs, like me back 30-something years ago. To the Atlanta Hawks, who already had picked Ramil Robinson with the first-round pick, had Spud Webb, Kenny Smith, Doc Rivers, John Battle, and I believe there was another guard that we went to camp with. So hopefully they won't get picked in the second round with that. Antwaun, you got any closing thoughts? I'm going to leave everybody with a little story here, a draft day story that they will love if they haven't already heard it, because it is funny. But go ahead. You got any closing thoughts?
Oh, man. You know what, man? I had a lot of fun with you today, brother, and I appreciate you for bringing me on. Thanks for taking me under your wing and basically giving me a shot at rejuvenating my career. You know what I mean? And I feel like today is my draft day. You know what I mean? I got snubbed about 15 years ago. I felt like I was the number one broadcasting pick coming out of the state of Illinois back in 2010. But here I am, man, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that the people like it.
Well, you did a great job. That's Antwaun Smith, ladies and gentlemen. And you'll be seeing him more often here on Bardo's Breakdown. Project Love Chicago. Y'all ready? Here we go. I'm going to take you back to June 21st, 1990. And my agent at the time, Arn Tellum, who actually now is general counsel or president with the Detroit Pistons. So he went from the player agency side over to the franchise side. So he's with the Detroit Pistons. So Arn Tellum was my agent. Very well connected. Had a lot of talks with a lot of NBA GMs and whatnot. So I could have gone anywhere from the late first-round pick with the Sacramento Kings at 27 all the way to the 51st pick in the second round with the Los Angeles Lakers and anywhere in between. And so I knew that I wasn't going to be a first-round pick, but I was nervous, ladies and gentlemen. So I got a chance to go to St. Petersburg with my family. My sister and her husband had a beautiful place down there. So my mom and my dad, my brother, me, my sister, her husband, Lynn, and one of our good friends, Reggie Silas, God rest his peace. God rest in peace. He's no longer with us. But we were all there, and I'm nervous during the day. And my Uncle Lynn and Reggie, my friend, who's kind of like an uncle, they started making Long Island iced teas. And if anybody knows Long Island iced teas, they got about 3 or 4 different liquors in them. And so, I go to the mall, I walk around, I mess around, killing time. I come back home and I start drinking. And so all of a sudden, I just black out because I've been drinking too much. I just pass out. So I woke up in time to see Kendall get drafted, number 5 pick in the NBA draft. He went to the Charlotte Hornets. I passed out again. I didn't even hear my name called, ladies and gentlemen. They had to wake me up when my name got called, 41st pick of the second round by the Atlanta Hawks. And they knew they were going to call. So Reggie and Craig, my brother, got me up, put me in a cold shower to revive me. Babcock, I can't remember. I can't remember his first name, but Mr. Babcock called. And he was like, hey, congratulations. We picked you 41st pick of the second round of the NBA draft. How you feeling? I was like, oh, man, I'm feeling great. I'm ready to go. I had to rehearse some responses because I was still a little inebriated. I'm just kicking it real, y'all. I want to give y'all the story since you stayed this long. So, Antwaun, that's why I tell these young guys, man, when you're up for the draft, don't go drinking. Do something else. Because you don't want to pass out when your name is called. That's an incredible moment that I missed out on. Somebody thankfully recorded it, so I got a chance to see it recorded. But I did not hear my name called live because I got nervous and was drinking earlier and passed out.
That just means that your tolerance was low. So that means that you took the season very seriously the entire way. So you didn't drink until it was really party time.
Oh, I don't know about that, but Joe Stovall called it best. Weekend at Bardo's, I love it. Weekend at Bernie's, trying to revive a dead man. Jen Bruno, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Antwaun Walker, I think that's you. Chuck Ramey. Thank you very much. You had some folks I had not heard of. Good luck to all of them. Lucas Williamson of Loyola. He might get picked in the second round. We'll have to keep an eye out. I definitely think he's an NBA player. he's going to get a long look if he does not get drafted. All right. So let me see. I think that is it for my peeps. I'm checking all the Pete Rosenberry. Thank you for joining. For all you got, for everyone that joined Bardo's Breakdown, I so appreciate you taking over an hour today to join me and Antwaun Smith, my main man, doing his things on the ones and twos for the first time on Bardo's Breakdown. You did a great job, brother. Thank you for joining me. You're watching Bardo's Breakdown. Come back to Bardo's Breakdown for more great shows like this. We've got interviews from Where Are They Now? So make sure you come back to the page and like the page. Share with people who you think like this type of insider content, because you're not getting this from anywhere else. You're not getting an NBA analyst that's going to break down the NBA draft to you online. You're not going to get it. So make sure you share with people that you think would enjoy this content, like this content, and keep rocking with your boy. Much appreciated. Much love to all y'all. Special thanks to Antwaun Smith for co-hosting the ones and twos on the wheels today for me. And until next time, y'all, love y'all. Good luck to all the players in the NBA draft. Peace, y'all.